This line chart tracks average innings scores in the Indian Premier League over the last 10 years. For most of that time, a score of 160 or 170 meant a tight game, and 200 was a rare, match-winning ceiling. Then we reached the 2026 season. The average suddenly hits 220. What used to guarantee a victory became the bare minimum required to stay alive. Totals climbing past 240 or even 260 runs were routinely chased down without teams breaking a sweat. In Qualifier 1, Royal Challengers Bengaluru posted 254 runs in a high-pressure playoff environment. The numbers were stretching the boundaries of what a 20-over game could physically contain. Behind those swollen totals was a specific type of offensive onslaught, best illustrated by a 15-year-old named Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Against Sunrisers Hyderabad, he hit 97 runs off just 29 deliveries, barely missing the fastest century in league history. During that tournament, Suryavanshi hit 65 sixes, erasing a 14-year milestone held by West Indies powerhouse Chris Gayle, who hit 59 sixes in 2012. A teenager had out-hit the most physically dominant batsman of his generation. A 15-year-old dismantling elite bowling attacks and entire teams treating 260 as a routine target point to a clear reality. The sport's natural progression curve snapped. The underlying mechanics of T20 cricket had fractured. The Indian Premier League is engineered for high-octane entertainment, but the 2026 season forced a difficult question. At what point does optimizing for sixes break the actual contest? Current captains like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, alongside older veterans, began publicly criticizing the conditions. With flat pitches and boundaries raining down, they argued the delicate equilibrium between bat and ball had been severely compromised. This scoring surge followed a specific change to the league's rules. It stems directly from a legislative tweak implemented by the governing body. By examining that loophole, we can see exactly how teams exploited the rulebook to launch a tactical arms race, accelerating run rates to levels the game was never designed to handle. This diagram illustrates the impact player rule. Introduced prior to the 2026 explosion, it allows teams to substitute one player at any point during a match. If a team is chasing a target, they can swap out a bowler whose job is done and replace them with a specialized batsman. Notice how this single substitution stretches the lineup. Traditionally, the final 3 or 4 spots in a batting order belong to the tail, bowlers who aren't expected to score heavily. The impact player rule effectively erases the tail, padding the roster with a designated hitter instead. With an extra specialized batter waiting in the dugout, the fear of a top-order collapse vanishes. Openers and middle-order batsmen can swing with total freedom from ball 1, knowing they have a deep safety net behind them. That psychological shift altered the math of a run chase. By removing the penalty for getting out, the rule stripped away the inherent risk of aggressive T20 batting. Teams quickly adapted to this new math. The Rajasthan Royals treated this shift as a precise architectural rebuild, developing a framework known as structured aggression. Within this structure, roles became highly specialized. Designated anchors were assigned the middle overs, tasked with maintaining a high-scoring tempo while keeping the innings stable and preserving wickets. These anchors act as a shield. Because the middle order is secure, finishers like Suryavanshi are deployed with a singular directive: attack from the moment they step onto the pitch, free from any fear of failure. This relentless offensive pressure broke standard defensive strategies. Historically, captains saved their best bowlers for the final death overs to restrict the scoring. Against lineups packed with risk-free hitters, holding back your top weapons practically guaranteed a loss. To counter this, the Mumbai Indians completely inverted their playbook. They took Jasprit Bumrah, long considered the premier death bowler in the world, and deployed him immediately in the power play. The goal was to take early wickets and kill the opponent's momentum at the source. The entire tactical landscape of the sport flipped. Batting evolved into a continuous, calculated assault, while bowling was reduced to a desperate scramble for early survival. The 2026 season created a strange dichotomy. The crowds eagerly consumed the high-scoring spectacle, and a few elite bowlers still managed to take wickets in tough conditions. Yet the structural balance that gives the game its tension was completely compromised. With conventional tactics failing, sheer physical speed became the only reliable countermeasure. Bowlers like Jofra Archer found success by relying on extreme pace. actively trying to dismantle the top order inside the first 6 overs before the batters could get comfortable. The extreme inflation of scores has forced an administrative reckoning. Following sustained criticism from players and analysts, the Board of Control for Cricket in India has formally committed to reviewing the impact player rule. But repealing the rule might not put the genie back in the bottle. Franchises have spent a season optimizing for constant aggression. They now possess the blueprints for a hyper-offensive batting structure and know exactly what the math allows them to achieve. The concept of a safe, defendable total has been erased from the modern game. We are left looking at a 15-year-old with 65 sixes, the defining monument to a single season where T20 cricket pushed its own limits until the system broke.